It's Operation Babble with Myke Shrews. It's pop culture, music, movies, TV too. It's time to explore life. It's Operation Babble time.
Tivis, Power Rangers, RPM, get in gear.
Gear.
Power Rangers, RPM, we stand together. And that's it. That's all I got.
That's all I remember.
So, how are you today, my man?
Well, little problems behind the scenes there, getting our stuff working. But other than that, we're doing all right.
Yes, apologies if any of the audio is a little rough today, guys. We're working on minimal stuff right now, so we'll get it together, hopefully.
My headphones crapped out.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I think Tivis broke them like last minute, right before we started. So,
Well,
on purpose.
I almost ordered a new pair 2 days ago because I was playing Fortnite,
Yeah.
and I noticed no one could hear me. They were either ignoring me or not responding, and I'm like, is it my headphones?
No, it was just you.
Yeah.
So today, guys, we do not have John with us. He's out on some personal stuff. So you got me and Tivis. Sorry. Everyone's probably cheering. Yay!
I'm not.
So we decided to finally do our Power Rangers RPM episode for y'all because I'm not going to wait for John to watch it. And I think it's off of Netflix now, or going to be off, so he's not going to have a chance to watch it anyways.
The end of the month.
Yeah.
You have until January 31st to binge this 32-episode show.
Shit. So, yeah. We'll dive into that and probably a bunch of other Power Ranger geeky shit. Basically, the Power Ranger episode for anyone who can't see the background. I got the RPM background, and I got my Lord Dracon t-shirt, custom made, just for me. And then if you can see in Tivis's background, he has his Power Rangers in Space pillow.
And the board game pile.
And holy shit, I didn't see those earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it goes all the way down.
Oh, jeez. That's crazy. So, to get us started, do you want to get us started?
Sure.
Oh, wait, here. I'll read the opening lyrics, I guess, instead of the whole Power Rangers RPM. Get in gear. Shit. It is, a computer virus has built armies of robotic soldiers and taken control of our world. But there is still one place where we can be safe. The domed city of Corinth. And the only hope we have left is Power Rangers RPM. Get in gear.
Yeah.
God, that's addictive.
It is. Oh, I gotta
promise
say,
I won't sing it.
I haven't seen every season of the show, but this one is like super fun.
There's only one season of this show.
Well, I meant Power Rangers in general.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gotcha.
Overall, this is the 17th season, but it is one of two shows. I think the other one is Dino Charge that just completely ignore all other continuity. It's in its own separate bubble universe timeline.
Okay. So this was supposed to be in timeline with the rest of the shows then at the time it came out. Is that what?
I don't believe so. I think they wanted to do their own thing. I know there's been a couple attempts in the past to where they just ignore previous continuity to try and reboot the franchise, and I think this might have been one of those attempts.
Gotcha.
Or they could have just been having fun because it was the final produced Disney season.
Final produced, and it was the only one they didn't use like actual Sentai footage from, right?
If
or
they
the
did,
first
it was
one, anyways.
Extremely hard to pick out.
Right.
Like, it is a lot of original footage.
And then this one has a really good cast too, man. I was actually surprised. Of course, we have talked before. It had Rose McIver in it as Summer. Eka Darville, who was in
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. He played Red Eagle. Which did they actually give him a first name? They gave him a first name, right?
Scott?
Was it Scott?
Yeah. You talking about this show or in something else?
No, in this show. In this show.
Yeah. His name was Scott.
Okay. Yeah. And then you had the Blue Lion, which was Ari Boyland. Milo Cathorn was Ziggy, which I've seen him in some other stuff. I just can't put my finger on it. And then a bunch of others. Olivia Tennant was Dr. K, which apparently she was in Lord of the Rings, one of the Lord of the Rings films. For Lord of the Ring fans out there who want to spot her in there. So, yeah. What is Milo Cawthorn in that?
I was just looking that up. He was in a Christmas movie, literally called Christmas, in 2003.
Deathgasm. That's what I've seen him in.
That one didn't make the Power Rangers wiki.
Guns Akimbo. He's in that new Guns Akimbo movie. Well, 2 years old now, but with Daniel Radcliffe. So yeah.
Oh, Ash vs. Evil Dead, the TV series.
Who's he in that?
He played
Probably
Delmont.
just like a one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Fire in the Hole episode.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I don't really care about the cast as much as I care about the show, except for Rose McIver. Oh, she looks so cute in her little, what was it, Yellow Ranger outfit. They didn't have any Pink Ranger. They had, it was
Red,
interesting.
blue.
It was
Oh.
red. Yeah,
That's how we're going down the colors.
red, blue,
yellow, green, black, and then they had 2 additional Rangers, the gold and silver.
gold and silver. Yes. Which those suits looked kind of cool. I like the helmets for the gold and silver Rangers more than I actually like the like shiny suits, the spandex that they had. I'm sorry, it's not spandex. Sorry, Dr. K. I didn't mean to say spandex. Inside joke, guys.
They like to pick apart the tropes of Power Rangers in this show, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's got, for audio listeners, he's got the intro playing behind him on his green screen.
Without the audio, of course.
Yes, no audio.
So, dude, I gotta definitely say, the Dome City of Corinth, it really got me wanting to rewatch, was it Under the Dome?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that show? Yeah.
I saw a few episodes, and it was really interesting.
Yeah, it's a good one. I actually, because of that show, I actually got the books to read. I have not read the second book yet, which is not part of the show, I believe. Or at least the show's not based on the second book.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah. But did this whole thing give you a lot of Terminator Salvation meets Mad Max type of vibes?
Oh yeah.
That's all I could think of.
It's, as he read out, a virus spreads that takes over machines or turns people into machines. It's kind of vague at first, but they explain it as the show goes. And the world is like decimated. It's like Mad Max wasteland outside of this dome.
Yeah. It's Mad Max meets Terminator. It's like it's crazy, but that because then you have like your salvation area is Corinth, and that's it. And supposedly that's the only place on Earth. Is that what that's what I gathered from
that's
this
what they're
entire
implying. And for a secure city, they have a lot of breaches.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of breaches. I was like, so like every day they're just getting like in the first few episodes they didn't make it seem like their city had ever been breached before a lot, and then as you go through the show you're like, oh, so monsters are just coming up in this city everywhere. And then apparently the monsters can get through like water lines and shit like that. I'm like, oh, what? Okay. But as for people that don't know, RPM Rangers, what RPM stands for is the Racing Performance Machines, which we don't see a lot of like racing type shit in this, so it's interesting. I think they just picked some leathers and went with it. Honestly,
Yeah, something associated with cars,
yeah,
rotations per minute and all that. And it's like, all right.
yeah,
Because they do have, for those older fans who have watched the Turbo, I know it's not exactly the most beloved season, but the car concept comes back for this. And even the intro really mirrors the Turbo intro, which is still one of the best intro songs. I don't care how much you like the show or not. It's an awesome song.
I don't. The only thing I really remember of Turbo was the movie. I
Yeah.
don't remember the actual show itself.
Yeah, that's not that uncommon.
Yeah. Oh shoot. So what do you got for me, man? Like I have 3 pages of notes on this show as I was watching it. We finished this. Well, I finished this a couple months ago, right before Christmas, I think it was, because we were gonna do an episode between Christmas and New Year's about
Yeah.
this, but we just didn't get into it. So I've had these notes for a minute, and I know you had finished before, or like almost right after I had started watching this.
Yeah.
Show. And it took me.
You blew through it. I was watching like an episode a day.
Yeah, I blew through. I got through like half of the show in a day, and then I took my time and only watched a couple episodes a day. So I got done within like 2 weeks, I think.
I was also watching this with like 5 other shows.
Yeah.
4 of them Power Rangers and VR Troopers. So
You didn't get to Beetleborgs, man.
no, I haven't got to it yet.
Oh.
I'm trying to watch in order a bit.
Yeah. And then, like you said, this was the last one that they did with Disney. And then Saban took it back, and then Saban sold it to Hasbro, correct?
Yeah. The Neo
Shortly
Saban
after this.
era is what they call after this. With
Okay.
I believe Jungle Fury might have been the first, or maybe it was one after that.
Okay. That's when some of the suits started getting crazy, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I was watching Jungle Fury with this one, and that one's pretty good too.
Yeah. I think like I've heard a lot of stuff about this one, about it being like one of the best Power Ranger shows out there, at least made, not necessarily as entertainment wise or anything, but like best made, best story, because it's, and I think it gets that only because it is one season, it's one enclosed story for from the beginning to the end, and I think that's why it can be considered probably one of the better stories of the Power Ranger series, just because it has a beginning point and end point. It knew what it was going to do, and that's what it did, and it told the whole story. It didn't like go on for 3 seasons or 5 seasons or whatever. It just like, here's a new villain, here's a new villain, and here's a new villain. No, it kept one main big bad, and it went through. It felt like it could have been a movie. Honestly, they could turn this story into a Power Rangers movie, and I think it would be pretty cool. Or at least a trilogy,
And a couple of the characters do come back in later seasons, and even cross over with the spin-off, the Hyperforce, which is a online RPG show, but it is still within considered part of the series.
So the characters themselves or the actors come back?
Both.
Okay.
I want to say at least Dylan, the Black Ranger, who is kind of the main character of the show, which is weird because, normally the Red is the leader, and he still is, but we mostly follow Dylan and his story from beginning to end.
Right.
And there are, spotlight episodes where we get, characters and their backgrounds and stuff, but it's mostly focused on him.
Yeah.
And he comes back, and even some of the villains, like you find, like, okay, should we go into a little bit of spoilers from here on?
Yeah, we're gonna spoil this show because there's no way to dive really into the storyline without it. Well, I mean there is, but then it's kind of boring. Then no one knows what the hell we're talking about, and most of the people that are probably listening to this episode have either watched it and or don't care. So yeah, definitely we're gonna do spoilers for Power Rangers RPM. I usually just say we're spoiling anything we talk about on this show.
Well, I
That's
know. I just wanted to give him a heads up from here on.
yeah,
You're going to hear stuff. So,
yeah, definitely. All right, so we're definitely gonna do spoilers then,
yeah.
and I want to talk real quick. Dylan, Dylan is to me the Tommy Oliver of this franchise. I know Power Ranger fans are gonna be like, "Oh, fucking Tommy Oliver, here we go, fucking Green Ranger fan, blah blah blah." I
I've
mean,
never seen a more divisive character. I mean, I've always been a Billy fan myself, but
yeah,
people either love Tommy or hate him.
and I think a lot of the times too, it's like it's not that they hate him so much as they either liked Jason more or they just don't like Jason David Frank. So it's one of those things. It's like, which is it? Do you not really like the character? Because I thought his character in the original series was pretty dope, but was he a good leader? Not as good as Jason, no, but still. Anyways, we're on RPM right now.
Yes.
So yeah, I kind of got like Tommy Oliver vibes, and mostly because of just like the way he tried to interact with people. And I'll say like Tommy Oliver vibes from like when he was being evil Green Ranger, evil Tommy. We'll say that. Even though Dylan is completely not evil, you still get those vibes. Yeah. And then we have Tanaya, who I forgot to say she actually plays Queen Mary in the series Reign. I think it's on Netflix. And I could have cared less for her in that series, but in this series, she's bae to me. That's my wife now. That's my Power Rangers wife pick.
I thought she did a really good job. She was also in Teen Wolf, apparently.
Oh, the rebooted series Teen Wolf?
Yeah, the 2013.
Gotcha.
Oh, no, that's when she appeared. I don't know when that show started.
Yeah. All right, so let's go, man. Tell me what you got. Because I have notes. Like I said, I have notes. And one of my notes is, what the fuck was with the numbers on the chest?
I think it's just, uniformity. Because they've done a good Zeo, they had the images on their helmets.
Yeah.
Or the faceplate or whatever,
Yeah.
Zeo 1 through 5.
That no one said that was good either.
True.
It's like not only are they separated by color, but now they're separated by numbers. Who's number one? So yeah. I found that annoying because the numbers on their chest were like, and then they were shaped like they're animals, I guess, too. Like, and then their cars are animals, and then I'm just like, what is it? Are we animals? Are we cars?
I gotta
What
say,
are we?
the character of Ziggy might be my favorite of this season.
Well, he's the basic comic relief too, which is nice. So,
so the way they picked Power Rangers, they were predetermined, like set things that Dr. K wanted in a person to get the powers.
Yes.
And so that's how, because you start the show with red, blue, and yellow already being established. Dylan and Ziggy are coming into the city from outside the dome. And Dylan, who we learn is infected with the virus and has cyborg parts, is super friggin' strong. So they're like, you know what? Let's make him one. And then Ziggy just accidentally becomes the green. And so it's like everyone else is just accepting what Dr. K is, who is basically there for people who watch the original. She's the mentor, the Zordon, and she comes up with all this technology and stuff. And so, they just accept what she says, and they're like, all right, we're going to go out, defeat the machines, whatever. And he's like, okay, but why are we, why are there explosions behind us when we morph? why do the Zords have little googly eyes?
Yeah. He's the one doing like the meta stuff of like what the fans are actually like questioning, like why, what's up with this, what's up with that. It's really cool.
And later on, there is an episode where they keep character, but also do a behind the scenes.
Yeah, that one
for an
drove me
entire
crazy.
episode.
I was like, what are we doing? Like, what?
It's
what?
so weird.
It made. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with that, but just waste an episode because they were like trying to catch up on something else.
It's something you would expect to see as a DVD extra.
Yeah.
But it was an actual episode.
But I guess it was that was 2009 this series came out, so maybe they were trying to do like a Fox Kids type stupid thing, back in the day where they would just do like, hey, you remember these kids and blah blah blah.
I mean, it was cool to see how they do some of the stunts, so I imagine some kids were like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It felt like if you go to Disney and go through like the Indiana Jones stunt thing, that's what it felt like to me. Like they were in character, they did their stunts and shit. I'm like, okay. And then when Disney, it was like Disney's last hurrah at them. You're like, oh, I see you, Disney. I got you. Yeah.
And one of the better things Disney did when they got a hold of it was move the filming to New Zealand. Because New Zealand's a beautiful country.
Yeah. And for people that don't know, New Zealand is where not only everyone's gonna always say Lord of the Rings was shot there, whatever. Who cares? But also the Hercules legendary show was shot there with Kevin Sorbo. Xena with not Lucy Lawless. What was? Yeah. Right?
You did that, and now it's out of my head. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Why? Lucy Lawless was Xena.
Was she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Renee O'Connor, her friend Gabriel.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, a lot of good stuff is usually shot over in New Zealand, mainly because it's cheaper, which is interesting to see how is it cheaper to go over there and shoot all these things and to pay for everyone to go over there and stuff. It's crazy. The states need to get their shit in order so to make things plausible and cheaper for films to want to shoot here more often. This is why they all go to Georgia now, because this stuff is cheaper there and they get more tax cuts. Most states are not doing that right now.
I don't know if we talked about it on the show or not, but just a couple weeks ago we were talking about how Michigan used to have that incentive, and
well, so did Florida used to as well, and then they cut the fucking thing, and now like everything that was being shot here gets shot in Georgia along the oceans and stuff up there too. Like they shot freaking Baywatch up there in the cold water, like instead of waiting until it was warmer and shit and shoot in Florida. That's also a scheduling thing too, but still, like you could have shot in Florida and the water could have been a little warmer. Just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh, you're going. Okay, there you go. So, what did you think? Okay, so you did the whole behind the scenes episode thing. It's kind of meh. It annoyed me, honestly, especially when they ended the episode jumping right back into fighting a villain.
Yeah. Well, at first they were sitting on a couch ready to watch the behind the scenes footage together as a group.
Yeah. And then they're being like buddy with like Tanaya and all of them too, because they again, they don't use their real names, they use their character names in the whole behind the scenes thing, like creating the thing. So it's like, as a kid, I think that would take you out, don't you? Like, be like, oh, so they're just all friends, so okay.
I don't know. It might be because of the growing up with the Fox era stuff where they did weird stuff like that. I really don't think too much of it, but maybe.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's kind of like one of those after school specials of like them telling you not to do drugs or something like that, staying in character And
what was his
yeah.
name? McGruff, the
Oh
crying dog.
yeah.
Is he still around?
I have no idea actually. No idea. Because
Uh,
you had McGruff, you had Smokey. I think they got rid of Smokey the Bear at one point and then brought him back. I don't remember. Who knows?
yeah.
There's probably something divisive about all of those characters nowadays. Someone will complain.
Well, to be fair, as a kid, I always thought McGruff was weird because he was in that long trench coat, which I know is a detective thing. But after watching so many comedies,
Yeah.
the flashers.
And I mean, do dogs wear clothes? No, flash you. um. Anyways, man. All right, so I keep saying anyways. Fucking hell. So we had each character, main character, anyways, each got their own individual episode to do a backstory on. Where like they showed Summer was gonna get married or not gonna get married. Was it she was gonna get married?
She was betrothed, basically. She's a rich family trying to marry her to another rich family.
Right, and I was like, wait, are we like in like old times? Like, what's going on here? Like, well, I guess people still do that, and it's interesting. I wonder if they still have dowries and all that shit too. I'm sure they do. So like Summer had to get married to.
You are really obsessed with that dowry.
I know. I just watched Bridgerton, everybody, so I'm obsessed with a lot of stuff like from there. Summer has to get married. Summer is basically the Bruce Wayne of the story, I feel. Except Andrews is like her parents, so when he passes away, Andrews is her butler, and she's a rich girl, and she basically becomes like a Bruce Wayne type in this. Only instead of seeing her parents die, she sees Andrews die, which is the one who basically raised her the entire time. So I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. They put that. I mean, Grant, I'm probably the only person who read it like that.
No, I did too.
So yeah, I thought that was kind of neat to see something in there where it's not just the parents had to die, because her parents clearly don't die. We find them later. They're in the city of Corinth, and it took them this long to find their daughter, I guess. So yeah, because she's already been in the city for over a year at the time we first see her.
Yeah.
So
her parents show up and they're like, okay, you've had your fun. Time to get back to being married.
Yeah. Which I don't understand if they knew that she was there or if they just saw her on the news or what was going on.
I think it's implied that they knew. They just thought it was some kind of it's a fad. You'll grow out of it.
Right. You're a little emo right now. We'll let you deal with that fad, so. So, okay. Go ahead.
Lynn, who might have been my second favorite, who, first of all, his accent, he's Scottish. I absolutely find the Irish and Scottish accents to be awesome.
Yeah.
So,
well,
any
that's more like
characters
a
with
New
those that kind of...
Zealand. I think that's a New Zealand accent, like more New Zealand right there that he was.
Well, I know that the actors
a lot of these actors were from other countries. They're not from America, from the States.
Yeah, I thought I saw he was supposed to be from Scotland, though. He is New Zealand, so it was a New Zealand accent doing a Scottish.
Yeah. Because so is the one guy. I think the one guy is the Red Ranger. He is also New Zealand based, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I remember looking up. Again, this was almost a month ago, so.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a refresher as we talk.
Right.
His story is a bit more, simplistic. He wanted to go and, help other people constantly, and his dad's like, no, you got to worry about yourself.
Yeah.
And then the attack happened and the evacuation to the city, and, he goes out of his way to go save a bus full of people, and they were so impressed that he was offered to become, the Blue Ranger.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really I don't know if I like all these episodes. Like, do you remember the Avengers cartoon where each episode, the first few episodes, took place showing the backstory of the
Hmm.
characters and shit?
Yeah.
Uh, they did the same thing, I think, in one of the movies too. Um, it was kind of like that. It was kind of like rewatching all of that stuff, but after we've already been introduced to the characters somewhat for a few episodes, because I think it's like not until 5 episodes in until we see these backstories
Yeah.
happen.
Start going back because the show opens up with everyone evacuating into the city,
Yeah.
and these flashbacks kind of like you're introduced to the three Power Rangers right there before they become Power Rangers, and these backstories kind of lead like the story that leads up to that point where we're first introduced to them.
Right. Yeah, because it's showing like the world being taken over, and then everyone's just all of a sudden going to the dome instead of having been there, and yeah, okay,
And Ziggy, his backstory is literally he worked for a mob, which apparently still exists in this city, run by the military,
right,
and
like
yeah, he stole a bunch of what was it medicine and gave it to an orphanage and
yeah,
pissed off his boss.
yeah,
That's his whole story.
yeah, and it's interesting too because, like you said, the mob is still in there. It's like, are they not worried about the Power Rangers like just knocking them out, or are they just way too low on the totem for the Rangers to even deal with them?
Probably
Like
too low.
it seems like the Power Rangers only care about the monsters. You know, I guess as an adult, I'm getting to that point where I'm just like, can we fight some basic crime too? Like, can we stop some of these other criminals from doing some bad things? And also, why is there not like a list of like, if this was the real world, let's just say that if this was the real world, the city of Corinth would have people pounding on the walls trying to get in that weren't allowed to get in because they would have like an elite list of the people that are allowed to come there from all around the world. Does anybody remember what was it? Was it 2012 with Cusack where they had the boats and shit like that and they
It
were
might have
trying to get
been.
in there? Let me see. I might be mistaken myself. It looks like it was, yes, 2012, the film there when the world was like going through ending and shit like that with John Cusack. They had like those boats and stuff that you had to get into, the arcs, I guess. And it was like it was the most elite people that could afford like $1 billion tickets to get into these boats. I feel like that's what our government and our world's government would end up doing if there was like ever a situation like that.
Yeah.
So how a mob got in there, I'm just like, what the hell? And it
Money.
clearly is like known that there's a mob there too. It's like
Oh
they
yeah.
can't really go anywhere. How is it hard for you to catch these people?
And they're not hidden at all. Like later on,
No.
when they're like, Ziggy goes missing for a bit, so they literally go to their house. They're like, "Hey, what did you do to him?" It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like everybody knows you're here. It's like I guess because there's not that many humans, they don't want to um
You still would
detain,
expect them to have law.
right? It seems like nobody cares because we don't see like an actual like law enforcement program in place. You have the Power Rangers and you have the military guys, and the military guys do what the Power Rangers do. They don't actually there's no law enforcement within the walls of Corinth. So
Yeah.
I love that idea. Like to me, the whole idea of this show, I'm like, give me a dark live action series of this, and you could be some badass stuff. Like
Hmm.
have some of the guys that have worked on Terminator help out with it. Have some of the guys that have worked on a Mad Max film. Like, I really think it's something that I could see somebody doing some really cool dark stuff with. Even if it's a fan film, fucking give me a dark live action fan film. of this
I
stuff.
think the fact, this show, it's okay. If you talk to fans of
Yeah.
Power Rangers, like people have seen every season, the
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
that don't like this season, usually, the reason they don't like it is that it's darker than it is dark for Power Rangers, but it is still Power Rangers.
Yeah, because in this one, basically the entire world has been decimated except for
Yeah.
this little town or little city, which the city seems really big after a while. I'm like, how big is this dome? Because they don't really give you like they show you the exterior shots of this dome, but they don't ever actually show you like they don't give you like a mile range, at least that I've heard in the show, of like how big the city is mile wise or acres or anything like that. Because then they have these giant like kaiju fights in there, and I'm like, I didn't even know the dome was that tall. But okay.
And it's got its own shielding system.
Shielding system and hologram system built in so they don't see the outside, which to me is worrisome. It's like, you guys should at least have some cameras so you can see what's happening on the outside walls.
I guess it's to keep the people inside from, like, oh God.
So they
The
feel
world-
safe and secure, so they forget about everything that's actually going on until
a
there's
sense
a
of
giant
normalcy.
fight.
They have weather controls. I remember that episode. They were trying to sabotage them.
Yep, yeah. Oh man, this is the Truman Show's dome. That's what that is.
Oh shit! Yeah.
All right, the Truman Show meets Terminator meets Mad Max. There we go.
There is a character called Marcus Truman too, who's a soldier. I wonder if they did that, as a homage.
Oh, probably not. They probably just didn't even think about it.
Oh no, I'm an idiot. He's the brother to the Red Ranger, Scott Truman.
Oh, the one that died, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe because then you have the general, and the general says it's his dome, so then it would be the Truman Dome.
Yeah.
Boom. There.
I really wonder if they did that on purpose.
Put it in the fandom, the Wicca fandom thingy for
I don't see any
Rangers.
notes on here, but I would be shocked if that was a coincidence. Yeah, as we were just saying, Scott, he's the son of the general.
Yes.
And so, he's the straight and narrow one, trying to always, follow my orders or I'm going to discipline you. And he has a rivalry going on with Dylan from the get-go. Because Dylan just don't give a shit.
No.
They put him in prison in the first episode.
Well, they also put him in prison because, again, like I said, Terminator Salvation, he comes in there and he has like robotic tech built into him. He's enhanced.
Yeah.
So again, that's where I got the Terminator Salvation vibe, because I'm like, oh, okay, so there's a human that doesn't know he's part robot. Seems interesting. But I think this actually might have come out the same year that Terminator Salvation came out, if I remember correctly. 2009?
Yeah.
Damn. So they were all just like, hey, can we borrow this from you?
See, that movie came out in May. The show started at, March. So, yeah, around the same time.
Yeah. They're probably shooting at the same time. Well, I'm sure Terminator Salvation was shooting a lot sooner because there's a lot more to it, but still.
Yes. I still act like I have my mic on my face.
Yeah. Did you like the fact that this is something I appreciated, because when we first get introduced to Dr. K, it's literally just a beepy thing on a screen.
Yeah,
So
the letter
you're like,
K.
yeah, with a letter K, and you're just like, okay, that's Zordon basically, or whatever other person you want to remember from any other show. And then like I think it's in the first episode even too, they actually show you.
I think they might have went 3 before she finally makes an appearance.
No, because it was
Like
really fast. It was really fast. I think it was either first or second episode.
I think they make the reveal at this end of this episode 2, but they don't show you who she is, and then she becomes like an active member.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then we find out that Dr. K is not just a computer program, but it's a younger girl, Dr. K, who's been locked up. They give her a backstory too, which was nice, because we rarely ever get to see a backstory for the mentor or the Ranger's like lead person or whatever.
Yeah.
So you got a backstory on her, which is she's like a child prodigy genius that the government took and locked away to make shit.
And we assume that they took away her name because she's in this thing called Alphabet Soup. So we think, we can assume that they gave her the name K.
Right.
And to make her feel better, because it's like you get this sad through the years of like all of her birthdays, like, can I go outside now? And they make up some lie about her being allergic to the sun.
Yeah, she has like they tell her she has like a skin disease allergic to the sun's radiation or some shit.
The best thing about that is they give her 2 psychotic friends who are very unstable to try and make her happier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her arc throughout the series, because then we get the reveal that as a way to go outside, she made the Venjix virus as kind of like a giant fuck you, I want to leave.
Yeah. But she didn't do it to do what it did. It got stopped her from being able to stop it, so then it went out of control because they didn't want her to leave the facility, which, I mean, she still ended up leaving the facility because they went to Corinth, so it doesn't fucking matter.
And it kind of plays into it because she's very like overprotective of her stuff, and like, no, I won't let you do anything until I can think of every possible outcome. Because of Venjix getting out of control, she didn't foresee that, so it goes into her character throughout the show, and she lightens up, of course, and her and Ziggy have a little back and forth.
Yeah,
mostly because she doesn't like him.
What's that?
It's mostly because she doesn't like him because he wasn't supposed to be a ranger.
Yeah, he basically hijacks the Ranger's power, which, if I remember correctly, didn't it just happen because he was trying to save her? Was that what happened? Or they like, or no, someone was trying to take the... I don't remember how that one happened. Fuck.
The mob was trying to steal it, and the only way he could protect it was putting it on. Yeah. Once you put it on, it like bonds with your DNA.
Yeah. Which, that's a cool concept. I like that concept in the Ranger universe, which I think we've seen that before this show, right? Did we ever see that?
I would be shocked if we didn't.
Yeah.
Honestly, but I can't. It's not coming to mind.
I know there was always some random thing that was like, oh, well, when you're in the Ranger suit, you get like super strength and like... and super intelligence, and you know how to use everything instantly.
And they do that. They go do that. Each ranger has their own unique ability.
Yes.
Like what was it?
Well, Ziggy teleported.
Ziggy teleports.
Green teleports. Blue could stop time.
Oh, stop! That's it. And red was super fast, right?
Red was super fast.
No, that was yellow. What the hell were their powers?
No, yellow was oh shit. I should have rewatched this again last night. But I was finishing Bridgerton, people. Gosh. Which it was funny while you're looking that up. We were finishing up Bridgerton, and my wife was just like, "Let's just finish it. I want to get it over with." Because she was starting to get bored of it, I guess, because there's so much sex in this show, dude. And not like just quick little bits of sex, but like they get intense in it. There was one whole episode where they were basically doing like a montage of sex, but the sex scenes each were lasting a few minutes. And she's like, okay, do we really need that much? Like, you could just show us clips of their butts or something. You got it?
Yeah, yellow can focus energy signatures and flow it into concentrated surges. Red, he creates like a some kind of highway in front of him, which might just be a visual thing for us,
Yeah.
and run really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, because you see like his feet. Don't his feet like turn to the wheels or some shit? I think they showed that once or twice.
Yeah, I think so. And then the Black Ranger Dylan gets basically, if he thinks he can't be hurt, he won't be, but he has to be thinking it, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah, which is so weird. It's like, I don't think I could get hurt ever. How about that? But he creates a force field. That's what he does. Dylan can create a force field around him or whoever else. They basically, their powers, I don't understand why they get power, like superpowers like that, but okay. It works. It works for the show. It definitely works for the show. Because Ziggy, you get a lot of, again, Ziggy's comic relief. So you get a lot of spots of him trying to learn to use his teleportation powers. and he's like, ends up like hanging off of a building sometimes or some shit like that. And then he ended up getting zapped into a cave and they got stuck in a cave. So that was always fun.
Oh, yeah. They almost suffocated that because it was enclosed.
Yeah, it was enclosed, and then she was in there. Dr. K was with him, so she couldn't charge up their suits. That's another thing they added in here too. Is she has to charge their suits. Once they use so much energy, they actually have a repercussion to that, and the suits need charge. The Zords need charge. Shit like that. But the fucking Zords, dude. There are so many fucking. Like, okay, they only have a few Zords, but there are 12 fucking Megazords in this series. Megazords, not just individuals, but 12. I started counting them up. I was like, how many? Like, they have it set so each set of vehicles can join together in specific ways to make different Megazords. And then they have the Ultra Zord. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? It looked really cool. And dumb at the same time. It's like, why? We have a tail here and we have a tail there. I was like, oh my goodness. Come on.
Yeah. It's and there's been a couple different seasons now where they do this where one combination of the Megazord can have different combinations.
Yeah.
And and then, God, they get their Ultra Zord, which is, for people who haven't watched it in a while, it's all of them combined into one, and it's one gigantic fucking person.
And it's like bigger than any of the other Zords, of course. And then it's like 20 or 30 or 100, I can't tell, feet bigger than the actual monster, the robot monster. Oh yeah, they're not monsters; they're all robots too, which is something that I always forget because they look really organic. So,
and the first time they do it, you see the height difference. It's just it's so good. Oh, man. I love this. It's so dumb.
I might have to revisit the show or just buy this one because there was a lot of stuff I know I definitely missed in it. Again, I've only watched it one time, and the whole reason I watched it is because you were talking about it, and then a couple other friends of mine that are real big Power Rangers fans have been telling me, check it out. It's like the best made one. So I was like, all right. I was like, even better than, and then they were like, yes, better than that one, or So, Dr. K is the child prodigy. We get wheel blaster maneuvers from the big Megazord. I don't know what that means. I don't know why I wrote that down, but I said so dope.
Isn't that where it pops the tire off and kicks it?
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. And then in this series too, they also create like a pocket Megazord.
Yeah, it's just a little tiny tire.
Yeah, they have this they create this little discus. It's like the size of a hockey puck tire that they can like basically throw like Rita Repulsa used to, and like make my monster grow, and then this fucking like pocket robot pops out, and is it as tall as the Rangers, or is it a little taller than them?
It's a little taller, but then it can also get bigger for the
Right.
Megazord, because
Yeah.
both the Red Ranger and the Megazords use it as a finisher attack where they just kick it off of I don't know, some kind of stand, obviously a toy, and just
Yeah.
uh,
It looks, dude, this whole show, I was just like watching it. I was like, with all the Megazords and all this stuff, I'm like, the toys for this at this point in time, in 2009, especially for Toys R Us, had to be fucking phenomenal if they marketed every single individual one. It would have been really cool to see if they marketed, because I didn't look into the history of the toys for this one, but if they would have marketed it so you could buy each individual piece to build each 12 fucking Megazords. Or like, who out there owns all 12 of these Megazords? I would love to speak with you because I want to know and I want one. I definitely want the Ultra Zord, their Ultra Megazord, or whatever they called it in there. So
I can believe people bought multiple just so they could have every configuration on display. Because this is such a weird ass season.
oh yeah. Oh wait,
And-
here's Bandai Power Rangers Zords. Nope, that's not it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and they kind of explain away the goofy looking look of them as, a manifestation of Dr. K's stolen childhood, which, I mean, it's a decent explanation for the Japanese Zords. I don't know the reason for theirs, but they're really fucking weird looking.
Well, the first one that they have in the series when they first join together, because also Dr. K has to like program the Zord's DNA or some shit to be compatible with each other so that they can join together.
Yeah, she's like designing codes for them to fit and stuff, and she has to. Eventually, they need to find alternate power sources so they can make the bigger versions, and that leads to, expeditions outside the city, so you see more of the world and stuff.
Right. They well, when she's doing shit, what was I gonna say?
The original 3 Zords.
The original first Megazord that they put together in this series, or in this show,
Which is called the High Octane.
High Octane, but it looks like a fucking totem pole.
Yes, it does.
I'm like, what are we doing? And then that just made me want to have a Power Rangers Indian version. So yeah, I know you're not supposed to say Indian, but still.
And each of their Zords has like a special attack that they do.
Yeah.
Like Scott, the red one, it like pops out wings. Like, I don't know if you remember that old Hot Wheels cartoon. Pops out wings, takes flight, and then like gets on fire and rams shit.
Yeah. And then like later on we finally find Jen and
it's Gem and Gemma.
Gem and Gemma. Yeah.
Which
and they finish each other's sentences. That's like their trope.
They're brother and sister. Or no, they're not, actually.
No, they're not. Wait.
They're just two really good friends.
Yeah, they're two really good friends because they don't date in this show. They don't
No,
they don't even hint.
There's a little romance subplot between Summer and Dylan, but
there's a romance between Gemma and
Dylan, was it?
The Blue Ranger.
Yeah, no, Flint. Why did I say Dylan?
I don't even know if it was really supposed to be a romance, but that's what I was grabbing from it, because they were having them work together, and she was like kind of happy, but then like when Jem came back, she was like, well, I gotta go with him, and seems depressed about it. So
I really liked how they introduced these two, because it was one of those expeditions outside the city, and they're like getting surrounded by the army, and all of a sudden these two Rangers appear out of nowhere, kick the crap out of stuff, and then disappear, and they're like, what the fuck?
It was kind of like I guess I would say reminiscent of like the Gold Ranger showing up for the first time in
Hmm.
the original Power Rangers Mighty Morphin, I should say. Um, yes, people, I'm gonna reference that because that's the one I know the most. So,
It's the most popular, and it's not leaving Netflix. So,
and it's got the most comics. So,
uh, yeah. But after they see that, they go back to the city and talk to Dr. K, and she's like, "What?" They explain, gold and silver, and she's like, "Those sound like the prototype suits from the Alphabet Soup, which is
yeah,
what she based the other Rangers on."
yeah,
And as it goes, they eventually find the two of them, invite them back to the city, and it's her two psychotic friends that she lost. And they really, their only thought is destroy.
yeah, yeah. They were, and I was trying to look them up. I was trying to see if they had brought them in because they had previously worked on other Power Rangers stuff, or not Power Rangers stuff, but Sentai stuff. Because I
Mhm.
thought, oh, maybe they're actual like real, not real Rangers, real Sentai, from the original series stuff. But I could not find anything. But I do know apparently Gem shows up in Hyperforce. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. There are a couple of excuse me, people who come back.
Okay.
She also comes back, and
Well, Gem is the guy. I
yeah.
don't know if Gemma is in
Oh,
that one or not.
Gemma comes back for, I think, Operation Overdrive, which is okay. For those original Zordon era watchers, you didn't like Turbo. Operation Overdrive is universally hated.
Mm. Oh, speaking of the actress who played Gemma, she was actually in Xena as well. So she is definitely a New Zealand actress right there.
I'm
Uh,
gonna butcher this, but Li Ming,
Lee
who?
Ming Hu?
Yeah.
Is that like Cindy Lou Who?
Oh, she was also in Xena.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. She was
Oh, I
in
misheard you then.
Xena, the Shannara Chronicles. That's another show that was shot in New Zealand too. Um, I watched that because my wife watched the Shannara Chronicles, and
Mhm.
yes, I definitely now remember her in there. Now that I'm actually picturing it, um, Shannara Chronicles is a CW show. I guess it says comes to Spike, but it was a CW show, I believe. At least it was shot like a CW show. Um, it, watch it if you like some fantasy, but it's like weird fantasy because it's like orcs and elves. It's like Lord of the Rings, but like there's also like the San Francisco or the Golden Gate Bridge is in there and shit too. So you're like, is this? At first, you're questioning that whole show. Like, is this taking place in a fantasy world? And then you start seeing things, and you're like, oh wait, no, this is Earth. Like just in the future, but decimated, and now there's elves and stuff. Like I was confused by that whole show. I didn't pay that much attention to it. The only reason I actually watched it was because a few of the actors from it have appeared in Arrow, and also because who is it? Oh, the guy who played Deathstroke. I really like him. I forget his real name, but he's also one of the main characters in that show. Anyways, this is Power Rangers, not Shannara Chronicles. But this is
Uh,
what we do.
yeah, we go off topic. Little tangents.
um, but yeah, no, Gem and Gemma were pretty cool to see introduced. Again, I really like their helmets. I don't know if I like their spandex shininess so much, but the helmets were pretty dope. I get the spandex and the shininess are supposed to go with their helmets and their colors and stuff like that. So I understand that.
Now, I think you watched a lot of the originals, right? Do you remember the Battleizers? Which is an
Battleizers.
American concept that wasn't in the Sentai until relatively recent. It's the Red Ranger gets like a power up. I don't think this season had one, did it?
Would that have
At least
been like? I don't think so. Oh, you're talking about like when they got like the fucking Turbo Man jets and shit like that on them,
yeah, I
and the
think
Power Rangers,
that
and
had
that was like
Galaxy.
that was in space.
Was it space? Yeah, space was when they first introduced it.
Yeah.
I guess you could say the mini robot might have been counted because only he kicked it.
Huh.
The road attack Zord is what they
Yeah.
call it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that we got any suit enhancements in this show that I
No.
can remember. You got Zord enhancements. They really focused on the Zords.
And
That definitely.
they introduced, for people who didn't watch past like the first season of Power Rangers, they started replacing Zords like halfway through a season,
Mhm.
and they introduced the Paleo Max, which is like 3 train cars. But the way they introduce it is so interesting because it's like it's gone feral outside in the wasteland. It's just a train that attacks anything that goes near it.
Yeah.
It's such a weird concept, and when they eventually do get it, the only person who pilots it is Scott. So it's not like it even replaces anything. He just gets his own personal Megazord.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
gonna cough. I was fighting it so hard.
I yeah, I don't know. I love how the Gem and Gemma Zords can come together to make a Megazord by themselves.
Yeah.
Also,
What is it? The Zenith, I think. No, that's not it.
I don't remember what they called each one because there was 12 of them, Tivis. There was 12 of them. Don't fucking ask me what each one was called. I don't know. I remember the Ultra because it was the biggest. And that was such a lame name, the Ultra Zord. Oh shit. I was really looking forward to seeing like a whole shot with like 12 different Zords on there. But again, I guess they couldn't do that because they need each one to make specific ones, versions of it. So then they have they have an episode in here. It's episode 22. It's called Dome Dolls. It's the all girls episode. It kind of breaks the show. It shows that 2 Rangers on their own shows that the dome can use defenses on a mass scale, like cuz they so in this episode all the men are basically like knocked out, if I remember correctly, from some gas.
You want me to read the synopsis?
Yes, read the synopsis for me, man.
When an attack bot puts all of Corinth's men to sleep, it's up to the girls to suit up and defend the city. Summer takes up the lead, and together with Gemma, Dr. K, Vasquez, and the other women of the city, they thwart Vengisca's plans. And I believe Vasquez is one of the military.
Yes. So, in this episode, though, it only takes 2 Rangers to hold down the entire city. And not only just 2 Rangers, but then it also shows that the city has massive defenses that can stop like all these attacks that have been happening.
Don't they have like giant guns on to stop air raids?
Massive guns. They have, well, not only that too. Like they have the shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a shield that goes completely over the city. How are everyone just going in and out of this shield? Not only the good people, but the bad people. Like, how are they coming in and then going out? Because you see that they have to always. I guess it's at a convenience point. They have to have them shut the shields down so that they can come in, and shut the shields down so that they can go out. So if the shields are up when the baddies are in there, how are the baddies getting the fuck out?
And you might be thinking, well, the shield just covers the city. What if they go underground? They do that in an episode.
Yeah.
That they actually think of that.
Yeah. Which at that point, then you think you would have, for being such a well-defensed facility, you would have defenses underground too.
Yeah, apparently they didn't think of that.
Oh.
Even though they have like their water and stuff that we do see under the city. So.
Yeah. Dear future world overlords, when you build a dome to protect us from robots, make sure it encases everything underneath us too. Thank you.
If the tremors can get us, you screwed us.
This is why we just need to go to space. Fucking hell.
Go discover a new galaxy.
You telling me with as much money as they probably spent on that dome, they couldn't have just sent everybody into space? Like, let the robots have the planet. Fuck it. Oh shit. But yeah, no, that episode, that was a good episode though. I thought it was.
Oh yeah,
because
there's so many one-offs that are just really good this season.
But it was nice to see just like 2 Rangers instead of like 10 Rangers, or how many do they have? 7 in this one, I think it is total.
Yep.
Because of Gem and Gemma. So it was nice to see just 2 Rangers deal with an issue and the problem, because we've seen that in other shows, which was nice. In this one, it was a lot of like, here's 7 people or here's 5 people getting their asses kicked, and then Gem and Gemma come in to save them. It's like,
which that actually is that happens in an episode. Scott, who's the son of a general, the general. He's constantly trying to get approval. He's leading this team. Is like putting his life on the line, and then Gem appears and just beats the crap out of one thing, and his dad's like, "Here you go. Here's a medal. Thanks for doing the service." Scott's like, "Yeah, screw you."
He's like, "Fuck you, dude. Like, you know what?" Yeah. Shit.
And I might add that Scott is right there while Gem is fighting the thing with him.
Yeah. All right, this is gonna be the biggest spoiler because I had texted you this way before I finished the show. Mm-hmm. Like I was like 5 episodes in or something. I was like, I'm gonna text you this just in case this is like legit, so I can be like, see, I called it.
Yeah, we haven't gone into Dylan's stuff, so
yeah, Dylan. It comes to light that Dylan and Tanaya 7, who is like the big bad sexy girl in this whole show,
who gets reprogrammed to be Tanaya 15.
Was it because it's Tanaya 7 and then Tanaya
15? It's just they label their attack, their monsters basically.
Yeah.
Based on like their generation of like iPhone.
Yeah.
7, 6, all that. They basically do that with the monsters.
So they skipped 8 generations on her, though.
Yeah, they put 15 generation tech into her to make her more compliant at one point.
Yeah. So spoilers on this one, just real quick, just to get it out of the way. But they're brother and sister. We find out at the end that Dylan and Tanaya are brother and sister. So now we can dive into these guys a little bit more, because Tanaya is created. We see her created in Venjex's lab, or so we think, and she's like the big bad throughout the whole thing. Besides, of course,
Venjix.
Do they just call him Venjex?
Yeah.
Okay. So Venjex, yeah, because he's the computer program and everything. So he's like the big bad, and she's like his Goldar, I guess, to reference that. And we work through it, and we go and
well, the show
I don't know how do we go with this?
After the show starts, we get that immediate look of them evacuating into the city. We pick up Mad Max style with Dylan, who's just wandering around trying to figure out his path because he has no memories of
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened.
Because this is like Dylan's whole story starts at the very, very, very beginning of the show.
Mhm.
And then we don't really dive into him a whole lot until later down the road when we start diving more into Tanaya. And then Dylan starts getting like these memory flashes because there is supposedly a memory bot that has his memories.
Yeah.
But to save everybody, they end up destroying the bot, which is hard on Dylan, but it was worth it to save the city, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
His team is struggling, and he's,
yeah.
you know,
So it was his call to get rid of his memories, but now he's having flashbacks of different people. Like he's having flashbacks of a little girl, his sister. I guess. Well, not even a little girl. Like they don't
yeah.
show the person. They don't show the person in the flashbacks at first.
And she's blind.
Yeah, and she is blind. His sister's blind. I don't know why they needed to add that in, but okay.
I think it's kind of just foreshadowing because when we meet Tanaya, she has like some weird like eye implant mask thing. So I think
Does she?
yeah, that whole faceplate thing, it goes around her eyes.
Every time she fights, though. That's
Well,
when she
it's
fights.
also she's got the implants of it,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
on her
that's right.
temples. So
Okay.
I think it's kind of just to sow the seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'll go with that. Um.
yeah,
So
and he slowly remembers more and more. And
yeah.
they got separated in an attack, which I believe turns out to be Gem and Gemma when they were just outlaws in the wild, just attacking a facility that they happened to be, you know, being operated on in.
Yeah. they were divided at that point by her falling down, so he thought she had died
Died.
originally, but then all that shit was taken away because they took him and erased his memories from all that shit, so he didn't even know. The only thing that reminded him was a little trinket that he had.
A music box like
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, which they said that Gem and Gemma said that they had heard that in the prison that they were captured at too. The same tune, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
I don't want to dive way too much into that, but yeah. Uh,
Yeah, it's really awesome to watch it play
it's
out.
really good to see play out because it's one of the better things. Like you said at the very beginning, this was Dylan's. He was the main character.
Yes.
And it's basically his story, even though we see other characters develop and their stories and stuff like that. This is totally a Dylan / Tanaya, I guess, by the end story, and it's probably one of the things that helps save this story from being just like another generic Power Rangers show.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like other Power Rangers shows, people.
They're mostly,
I will get a lot of hate for this one. Just watch.
they're mostly, villain of the week stuff, but this one actually had
Yeah.
like a nice subplot that ran throughout the entire show, and it was really
Right.
interesting to see it slowly come together.
Yeah, definitely. And not only like slowly come together, but come together seamlessly almost, because there wasn't many things you could pull apart within Tanaya's and Dylan's story as much as you could say a Wonder Woman 84. But yes, I had to toss that in there. I really like the fact that I called it like within episode whatever that they were brother and sister. And at the same time I kind of don't like that, but I was just like, dude, something's got to be up. Like, and maybe it wasn't episode 5, maybe it was like when they introduced the fact that he had a sister. I think that's when I said something.
Yeah, I immediately suspected the same.
Yeah. And they try really hard to make you think that she's 100% robot because they give her a hand that's removable and everything like that.
Which that leads to some really awesome scenes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love that.
And then you, of course you get the general. I forget the general's name that comes back. The robot general.
Let's see.
That she
got the
fights
list
with
here.
a lot because he does not like her and then clearly she does not like him.
It's not. Is it Kilobyte? Yes, Kilobyte.
Yes,
Which
yes.
you can tell he is very much a Japanese inspired character. He's got like some hair like appendages that he like combs and stuff. And
Yeah, he likes always wiping his hair back. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
He looks like the stereotypical like Yakuza. Anyone who ever played those games, the main character, kind of hyperbolic Japanese gangster.
Anytime he says something like stupid, he's just like slicking my hair back. I'm like, bro, your hair did not move. I don't think your hair actually can move. It's like cables that are connected to you, dude. Like, what are you doing? It was a really weird personality trait that they put onto that character. But it was interesting.
I think out of all of this entire show, that is probably the most Japanese aspect that remained.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Oh man. All right, so anyways, for Tanaya, what we get with her is a lot of like, again, robot. When they finally realize, or when Dylan finally realizes that it's his sister, they try to protect her and do these interesting things with her, and then the other Rangers are always suspectant of her, of course, and then we get, what was it? She ends up getting captured again after he finds out that it's his sister, and that's when they realize that she's been compromised, and she's
starting to remember stuff slowly.
So they turn her to Tanaya 15 at that point, and then she's forgotten everything, and then of course she goes back in, and then she's a lot easier though to knock out of the whole you're a human, not a robot type thing, you know.
Yeah.
She's a lot easier and more susceptible, even with all the new updates. It's interesting. Because at that point, it's only like 2 or 3 episodes left in the season before after she gets turned to Tanaya 15.
And she does get a bit more ruthless. Like she actually the mob comes back into play eventually. She manipulates them into capturing Ziggy and basically like separating the team. And she's a really capable
ruthless
general. Yeah. And I think it's more. It was easy for them to break through it earlier on because she wants to be promoted to a general. Like Venjix keeps overlooking her plans, and the other generals keep messing with them, which they come close to working until they alter something, and then they get screwed up, and she's getting fed up with it.
Yeah, it's Ziggy's funny.
Oh, Ziggy is my favorite.
So I know we were talking about Tanaya too, but there's not much rest to go on with Tanaya. I mean, we find out she's his sister, and then that's basically the end of that story. She becomes Tanaya 15, she becomes ruthless, and then fucking, I forget how they snap her back in to like, hey, you're fucking human.
I think he like puts his life in danger to rescue her.
Okay, yeah. No, the other robot, the other general was trying to kill her, even though she had just been reprogrammed and stuff. That's what it was. Yep. Okay. And then we go from there. Because she flies off the edge of the bridge, right? And he grabs her. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. And then we get her in. They infiltrate the base, and then they basically wipe everything out.
Yep. And it kind of shifts from Dylan's, his mystery to getting his sister back, and then just wiping out the virus. Right. Is like the end goal.
That becomes basically his whole his whole thing throughout the whole show is like his character arc is like, I'm a nobody. I don't give a fuck about you. I just want to, live and find my whatever, my purpose, my name or whatnot.
And throughout the whole show with, doing these expeditions outside the city, they get more intel from like fringe outposts and stuff. Yeah. And so they eventually get enough to where they're like, okay, we're tired of being on the defensive. It's time to go on the offensive. And that's and when, the final confrontation
happens. It took some convincing too of the human general to let them even do that. I don't even think they actually got 100% permission even.
No, didn't he steal his dad's camping van?
Yeah, I think they just dipped out on him.
Which was hilarious. That was great because you stole my van.
Yeah. And then that basically leads into the end where they just win and everybody gets each of them get their own happy ending part. They go out into the real world and notice, hey, there's a whole field of fucking flowers here. So awesome. The world is fixing itself already. Basically is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and we kind of get a hint the world, because in the first episode Dylan finds a flower.
Yes. And then he waters it with some of his drinking water and stuff like that. And they recreate that scene almost with the girls and him with one flower, and then they walk up the hill and notice there's like thousands of flowers everywhere. So not the flowers are going to help because there's no bees to pollinate them, but hey.
And then at the very end, we get that after credit scene. In the whole show, Venjix is in this Zordon-like tube with like a howl eye stalk, and they beat they think the virus is gone, everything else, and then we get a shot back at their base, and the eye stalk just flickers.
Yeah, it was in one of the Morphers. They were packing up the Morphers because they no longer needed the Morphers, and apparently he uploaded himself, supposedly, into one of the Morphers. So he could still be around, but if they don't use the Morphers, it doesn't matter.
Oh, one thing we forgot to mention with Dylan is his cyborg implants. That actually comes into play a little bit as it spreads through his body.
Yes. And actually, not only his cyborg implants, there's a whole episode where they turn on everybody that has
like
some type of robotic sleepers in them to attack the city from within.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like one of the last episodes as well.
Yeah, that was like, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that possibility.
Yeah, because I think didn't they put through like the water or some shit like that? I don't remember how they got it into their systems. But it was like more than 50% of the population was infected by Venjix already because of enhancements that they didn't even know they had.
Whoa.
There we go.
Okay. That made me jump.
Shit. What's going on? There we go. Making sure I'm still recording, guys. Yeah, so they had a whole dome-wide instead of worldwide infestation of Injects people being infected with the Injects virus. A pandemic, if you will. I know, that's not funny. I have something, though. Every time Ziggy was, like, in his human form, like, human troubles, like, with the mob and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I find it funny that, like, everybody knows he's a ranger, supposedly.
Yeah, well, that's another thing in this series is everyone knows who the Rangers are. It's not a secret.
Yeah. Everyone knows who the Rangers are. But so everyone knows Ziggy's a ranger, and they still come after him and attack a ranger who's literally saving the dome every time there's an attack. and the mob's like still trying to like off him basically. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like it just made no sense to me for that. The whole mob thing doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No, not at all.
So it just seems like they wanted to have like some weird story arc in there that it didn't pan out, I guess, probably how the way they thought it would do.
I do like he has no restraint. He'll morph and kick the crap out of
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
regular people, and he's like, all right.
The mass population's infected, it gives more weight, plus sells the idea of the hybrid labs previously shown. That's what I was gonna go into right there. I was reading my note verbatim just now.
Oh, and Dr. K, the fact that she created the Vengeance virus, that eventually goes public, and there's
Yeah.
some major repercussions.
Yeah, she's hunted down, arrested, or tried to be arrested because
Yeah.
she keeps using holograms all around the city. uh, and oh yeah, it was episode 30 that that the population was all infected, and I wrote this note down. I said, I love episode 30 is called Endgame, and half the population is useless.
That's 2009, so 9 years before Endgame.
Right? They stole it. And then Ziggy also comes to the rescue of Dr. K towards the end as well. And then eventually she calls him Ziggy instead of Ranger Operator Green. Operator Ranger Green or whatever it is. And then the ending, of course, is open if they ever decided they wanted to go back to it, which they won't because Disney. Oh, maybe.
I got some things. This connections to that this show has made the other seasons that might intrigue you.
Okay.
Between episodes, let's see, where was it? 24 and 26. At some point, they chase a new member of the not Cog Army. That's a different. The Vengeance Army called Professor Cog, and it's a crossover with Samurai, which is two seasons after this,
Okay.
which is in the main timeline for Power Rangers. So, that's where we get the first crossover with the other series, but it takes place, in the middle of RPM. So it's kind of a
Right.
little bit of a retcon. That
Unless RPM is the very final of all of the Ranger shows.
Nah, they already said that.
So fuck off then.
Yeah.
He's just like, nope.
It would be neat if that's what it was, but nah, they already. Also, we was it SPD and Time Force go like thousands of years into the future, so we already see that.
Yeah.
But in Megaforce, Professor Cog is still shown to be running around in the main timeline, so they have to get more help from the RPM Rangers. And then in the newest season, Beast Morphers, which is not leaving Netflix, by the way, so you can watch that after January.
Mm-hmm.
Vengeance comes back. He plays a major role in this season.
Ooh, really?
Yes. And
How did they do? Is it so? Because RPM's a completely different timeline from what they're saying. So
Yep.
is there like multiverse shit going on here?
a bit, yeah. Like Beast Morphers is really awesome. I don't know how much spoilers I want to get into because
Yeah.
they bring back Goldar.
Really?
Yes. It is like a giant anniversary season, and
Of everything. And
I've
that's
been
the
waiting.
Is that the one that's currently going, or no? Beast Morphers.
It
is
just finished
just
this
okay.
year. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for. They started doing this thing where they split it into 2 seasons instead of just having one, which is nice because it gives you more time to tell a story. But then they put super in the title for some reason.
Right.
uh, I'm kind of waiting for. I don't think it's actually called this, but as a joke, it's what has been dubbed the Super Beast Morpher season to get to Netflix, so I can watch the whole thing because
Yeah.
it sounds like it's giant callback to a ton of previous seasons.
Okay. That's actually pretty cool. Dude, my last note is just Tanaya, be my girlfriend. Please. Please be my girlfriend. My wife won't matter. Or my wife won't care, I should say. She does matter.
Go get yourself in trouble with that one.
Right? Oh. Okay. So, do you have any more on RPM? That I did not know that they were like a kind of multiverse thing. I thought this was just a one and done show and it was never going to be connected to anything. So it's kind of interesting and nice to see that some of that stuff is in Beast Morphers. You said Beast Morphers, right?
Yeah, Beast Morphers and Samurai was the first crossover, but that happens in, like I said, towards the end of RPM. But it's
right.
And then Operation Overdrive was the other one I said.
Okay.
I can't remember.
And I want people to know too, like, because we've talked about plenty of other type of movies and shows on this podcast.
Super Mega Force.
We're okay. Super Mega Force. Like Power Rangers RPM is good. If you don't like Power Rangers at all, you might still really enjoy this one. If you don't like the campiness to Power Rangers, don't watch this one and then come yell at us, because you have to like some of that stuff just to get it. But I feel the story 100% is a really good story, and the way that they encapsulate each character's personality and actually give them personality, and give them each a backstory before becoming Rangers and stuff like that. And
there's very clear character growth in a lot of them.
Oh yeah. I do wish that what is her name? Summer. I wish Summer had a little bit more screen time. Just so I could see more of her character growth, but it's like after we get past her parents coming back, it's like they don't really do a whole lot more. Then she's just comes in and she kind of acts like a freaking like valley girl, well, not valley girl, like a sad schoolgirl puppy dog thing, trying to get Dylan's attention the whole time, and he just kind of pushes her away. She's like, Dylan, I'm here if you ever need me.
Yeah, he becomes the bad boy trope for a while.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he's that from the start. Let's be honest.
But her whole thing after like they start building her character, and I want to see more of it. It's like then it just becomes her like swooning over Dylan and trying to get his attention and trying to get him to talk to her and stuff. I'm like, girl, you already proved that you are better than this. Like, come on now. Like, whoever it's weird. Because then they do the same fucking thing with Gemma. They do the same thing with Gemma. Like, they show her as a badass the whole time, and then like she's swooning over the Blue Ranger, and then it's like after that she's like, oh well, I gotta go back to my other guy, even though we're not in a relationship, but we have to have each other so we can talk. But at least Gemma had more. I feel Gemma had more screen time than Summer.
So Gem and Gemma are supposed to be twins.
They're twins.
Yeah, so I was right. They are siblings.
Okay. Yeah. Which they show them when they're trying to escape the place too.
Yep. I got confused because I looked at the the actors' names.
Gotcha.
Like an idiot.
So, yeah, I would definitely recommend this show to people that like Power Rangers and to people that want to just see a fun story played out and want to see some good character development in a Power Rangers thing, especially after that. And I'm sorry, Tivis, especially after that horrible Power Rangers movie we recently had. You see a lot more character development in this than you definitely did in that.
Yeah. Sure. they definitely had better personalities, and not better than I'm saying. Since the original Power Rangers, they had more personality to them. But
Yeah.
that movie, I don't know, it was all right.
That movie, the thing that pissed me off the most about the, what was it, 2017
17.
Power Rangers movie was Goldar. I was like, what the fuck is that piece of gold shit? Like, what is that? Like, Rita, I dig the outfit that she was, and I dig that she was formerly a Green Ranger. I was like, okay, cool. It gives a little bit more background. And that Zordon used to be the Red Ranger, was it? He was supposed to be the Red Ranger.
I think so, yeah, because he was the leader, and that's
Yeah.
usually always the leader unless you're Rocky.
So it kind of gives them a cool backstory to dive into if they would have dived into it. You know, I would have rather have seen the movie where Rita goes bad as the Green Ranger and Zordon's the leader of the group, and we see other characters as the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
That would have been a really cool story to
Hell,
go into that one.
boom. I know you're probably not listening, but if you ever come across this, fucking make that another graphic novel, because there is a sequel comic to the movie that is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's worth a read if anyone got any enjoyment out of that movie. But I would definitely read that.
Yeah. I really, yeah, that Power Rangers movie just, I own it, so I can talk shit about it if I want to. I paid my money and dues. I saw it in theaters too. But I don't know. I wish there was more Ranger in it and less, them just learning how to fight.
Like it's the basic origin story, and I feel like that's been so played out that it's kind of boring.
Yeah. Especially anybody who's going to watch a Power Rangers. I mean, like, even in RPM, they suited up in the first fucking episode. Like, come on. We don't need this whole long, driven out origin thing of a bunch of, it was basically the Breakfast Club that got to fight. Like,
it's kind of my same issue with The Amazing Spider-Man. Why do we have to go halfway through the friggin' film to see him in the costume?
Yeah. Well, that was the first one with Andrew Garfield, right?
Yeah. I don't even think, I think it's halfway through no, it is. He gets the costume and then like another quarter till he gets his name. I might be reversing that, but it's been,
Well, doesn't he dress up in like a sweatsuit or something at first?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably reversing it. He gets the Spider-Man name halfway in the movie, and then like three-quarters of the movie he gets his costume.
I might be mixing up all the Spider-Man movies. There's too many.
There are.
There's what, 5, 6, 7 live action ones, if we don't count the Japanese one. That wasn't even a movie; that was a TV show. So
yeah, which I found out something hilarious about that. Apparently, that Spider-Man is the one who created the Zords. Like, they didn't exist before that show.
Yeah.
And the costume for it got stolen. So they had to reuse footage constantly.
Wait. Like, the Zords that they used in the Spider-Man show?
Yeah, the mecha suit that he pilots, the costume that they used to film, it was stolen during production. Somebody took it.
So they had to just reuse footage throughout the show.
Yeah, it became a major pain in the ass.
Wow. That's another one, too. I would recommend for Marvel fans and Sentai fans or Power Ranger fans alike. Check that Spider-Man show out, because you might, as a Marvel fan, you might hate it. Especially if you really like Spider-Man. But I thought it was funny as hell. Stan
Lee said it is one of his most favorite thing to ever create, but he was also on drugs back then, so.
Oh, so he was a part of that creation then.
Oh, yeah.
That was actually, I didn't know if Marvel actually sanctioned that one or not. I thought they just picked it up and used the suit. That's awesome. Oh, yeah. Awesome. I remember when my favorite one, Ninja Turtles, was transformed into like a Japanese anime and got to see them do that. and then they turned into like they had these stones that would turn them into these power turtles, so they grew like 4 more feet. They got all buff and their masks got super pointy and shit.
That's
And I was
awesome.
like, that's awesome. And I own that DVD. It's all fucking caption. Like you have to read. What is that called again? Fuck. My head.
Subtitled.
Subtitled. Thank you. Why did I not remember that? But it's all subtitled. So I haven't seen an English dubbed version of it yet, but even just watching the subtitle one, I mean, it's reading, people. We used to do it a lot. Get over it.
I will say for the Spider-Man, anyone who goes to that, don't expect the normal origin story. He's like an agent from hell.
And then
And
he
if
doesn't really even use webbing a whole lot as much as he uses like his Zord, if I remember correctly. It's been a minute since I've watched, and
yeah, he's way more violent in that.
yeah.
So it's worth checking out if you like,
I wonder-
Sentai or Toei Productions.
Is that something that they can? Is that something that'll be on Disney Plus? Do you think, or is that who owns the
Ooh.
rights to that?
I would imagine Toei because they're very,
Toei.
very protective of their stuff.
We need a Sentai like channel on Pluto TV right now, please. Thank you. Like I would love that.
Come on, Viacom.
Right? Do something good this year. uh,
Shit, I got a correction to make.
Streaming service too. I would love a streaming service with nothing but Sentai. There's actually, before you do your correction, there's actually some apps that you can get on like your smart TV, shit like that. It's like Kokoro or Midnight Pulp, or there's Asian something. I forget what it's called. Apps, but you can also find them on Twitter and then find their apps that way. But Midnight Pulp has a lot of different stuff on it. I think that's the channel I watch. Is it that one or is it? I forget what their channels are here. Let me find out.
And
Yeah,
I'm really the whole Netflix. They're leaving Netflix except for 3 seasons of it, or
Yeah.
more than 3, because Mighty Morphin is 3 seasons alone. But 3 versions of it is not. The fact that they haven't announced where it's going yet makes me wonder if they're just renegotiating.
Maybe it might be.
Because I feel like they would have said something by now. Because they got 18 days until they're
it
gone.
goes off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put it on either like a Hulu, maybe. Because who owns it right now? It's Hasbro.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to think where Hasbro has been putting stuff.
But they do have that deal with Nickelodeon, who is the current channel home of it.
That is true.
My correction, though, is Jungle Fury is before RPM. So that Samurai would be the next season that they had that crossover with. And
Okay.
if Samurai was the first Neo Saban era, it's no wonder people aren't happy with that, because holy shit, I watched 2 episodes of that and it is god awful. It's some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. I'm trying to remember what this other app is called that I use, because I watch a lot of stuff on it. I think it's just Midnight Pulp has a lot of this stuff here. But there's even like I think it would be a good one for a lot of the Sentai stuff to go to. They do have a Sentai Rangers show, but it's called Sexy Rangers. It's definitely not for kids, people. I have yet to watch that one, but I've been looking at it, and I'm just like, should I? Shouldn't I? I don't know. I've heard it's good, but it's also kind of not like for kids.
Yeah. I've looked, and Hasbro has a very close relationship with Netflix, so it's really confusing why they would.
With Netflix? I mean,
Yeah,
maybe they're just wanting a different deal, a better deal right now.
yeah, that's why I think they might be negotiating. I do. It's kind of interesting that VR Troopers and Beetleborgs are also leaving because I didn't think Hasbro bought the rights to those.
Uh, well, Beetleborgs and what else? VR Troopers?
Yeah,
Uh, I think they have VR Troopers as well. I think VR Troopers has been moving along uh with the Power Rangers rights ever since. So I don't know. Maybe there's just some false information going out right now then about them possibly leaving.
yeah. Because I know Disney did
Yeah, it says
own.
Saban still owns VR.
Yeah. So I wonder if this is just the Saban deal coming to an end in general, and then the Hasbro deal will kick in after.
Maybe. And it says Saban still owns Beetleborgs. So,
One thing we can be sure of is you will never see Master Rider except for the bootleg stuff on YouTube.
Master Rider or Common Rider?
Master Rider was the American version.
Rider. What was that one? Oh,
Oh,
the Mantis guy?
yeah, Furbus and all that, and the owner of it, he hates it so much he refuses to give permission for them to ever release it again. He wants it buried and dead.
All right, well, did you ever watch Mystic Knights of Tirnanog?
Oh God, yeah, I love that. That's another one that you can't find.
It's on,
It was like the pure.
oh, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say that's the first pure, like these are kind of referred to as metal heroes.
Yeah.
Over in Japan, so I kind of just do it here in America too. I don't know if that's proper, but who cares? Uh, and that was the pure American version. Like no Sentai footage, no
Yeah.
adaptation, and I thought it was really fun.
Holy shit.
What's up?
$108 for a VHS of them. I have the whole series of Tirnanog.
Oh,
I also have the entire series of Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters.
you sent me an image of that.
But now the DVD is like $60. Holy fuck.
Jesus.
I did not pay that much for that, people. And I probably wouldn't have. The one I do want to find is Los Luchadores that was on Fox Kids back in the day. Do you remember that one? It was the luchadors, the wrestlers,
I think so.
and then they were normal professional luchadors, and then they would turn into like superheroes when they needed to.
I think I might have seen one episode of this and thought it was weird.
And then there was,
let's see, I would have been 10 at the time, 2001.
yeah.
I was barely hanging on to Power Rangers back then, so I was kind of
Really?
falling out of that. Yeah, I made it to Mystic Force, which is what year was that? 2006.
So you're watching VR Troopers though, right? Right now?
Yes, currently.
So I have not gone back to that show since I was a kid. I've always had it in my mind that show was way ahead of its time for the youth that was watching it. Am I right, or am I just like completely not remembering the show that well? Like I felt there were more adult things in that show to understand as an adult than you would as a kid.
I would definitely say it is definitely, you'll get more appreciation out of it if you're an older. Excuse me, I'm still doing it like I have my mic on my face. And it's a lot more violent as well. Like,
Okay.
You see things get like drilled through their stomachs and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still Saban cheesiness. Their inability to have a whole lot of oh man, going back to watch Mighty Morphin, I gotta tell you, man, their consistency is zero with everything. Like, I don't know what kind of drugs they were on to even create the show to begin with, but like, you'll have something in one episode, it's a two-parter. They'll give it a completely different name in part two because they just don't care.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I still love the show. You know, it's my childhood, but oh my God, rose-colored glasses so much.
That's what I'm worried about with also going back to try and watch Gargoyles cartoon. Cuz I remember that being like really good storytelling and really dark, and I was like, this probably would be better for older people, not necessarily adults, but like older kids and shit like that, cuz I watched it as a younger kid, of course.
I have a lot of friends who are big fans of that, and they say it still holds up, so
Yeah. That's what I would love to see a Gargoyles live action show on Netflix, a dark one. But because Disney has that shit, they ain't doing that. We'll see what they do because with like their Marvel stuff, maybe they possibly could, because we have Wonder Woman coming out in a few days.
WandaVision?
WandaVision. I say Wonder Woman. That fucking movie's still on my mind. Shut up, you. Yeah. So, damn it.
I'm actually shocked they haven't tried a reboot with how much they recycle their stuff recently. And how beloved that cartoon is. It's got to be in the works, because I cannot believe that they would just let the money sit on the table like that.
I feel that if they do that, they would need to get like a good team together. Do what like Animaniacs is doing. Same animation, same, almost feels like the exact same show.
Yeah.
Give or take a couple episodes, but
I think the third one is kind of the weakest. I believe that's the one that did that.
I think it's the third or fourth episode where they did the Buns Love, or not Buns Love, but Buns Rights, or whatever the fuck it was. I was like, oh God, this isn't even and they make fun of it about it like in the show, and I get what they're trying to do. I'm like, but that's not even subtle, guys. Like, you might as well say Buns of Mass Destruction at that point. Like, what the fuck? Which they might have, because I started like blocking out what they were saying after a certain point. I was like, okay, I get what you're doing. Warner Brothers for a studio who pushes guns on people nonstop. I see what you're saying.
They're making fun of that whole situation, but it's a cringe-worthy skit.
Yeah,
and probably the lowest point of the season. But other than that,
they should have waited. That should have been a later episode, because I guarantee people on the internet went crazy over that fucking thing. Because I was just like rolling my eyes. I texted you last night after I saw it. I was like, dude, I rolled my fucking eyes that whole episode. But I mean, everything else has been pretty on par. I enjoyed it. I've been watching with my youngest kid so that he can watch it, and he really enjoys it. And then I told him, once we're finished with these 13 episodes, we'll go back and rewatch the original stuff. Because we actually own the originals of Animaniacs and Pinky and Brain. So,
what about the Elmira spinoff?
I do not have that, but I'm sure it's on Hulu, right? Because the original Animaniacs is on Hulu now as well. At least I saw it on there. And
I'm definitely gonna give that a watch.
So is Pinky and the Brain. So, yeah.
I feel like I'm losing my voice a little bit. I don't know what's going on here.
I wanted to read real quick. The Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills is the one that I have. It's like $60. I already said that. I did not pay that much. This is what IMDb says of it. Low-budget kids show with 4 alien fighters recruited by Nimbar. The 4 are Gordon, Lori, Drew, and Swinton, who fight to save the universe from evil Emperor Gorganis. I want to make a show like this. Why can't I do this?
It was on USA from 94 to 95.
Yeah, but it's only one season. It's still just one season. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was exactly
40
40
episodes?
episodes.
Jesus. I mean, I shouldn't complain. Fucking Power Rangers has like 60. And most of it is nothing.
Which season has 60?
The first one.
Oh. Yeah, I was surprised when this one had like 32 episodes for RPM. I was like, what? 32 episodes? Damn. They must be pushing it out. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Mighty Morphin Season 1, 60 episodes. And the story stops at like 42.
Yeah. I am playing the RPM in the background of my video, guys. Just for those who can't see, I'm going to stop it in a second here. Yeah, man. No, I'm trying to think of any other Sentai or like Ranger styled shows that I enjoy watching or have enjoyed watched it. Bleh, I can't even speak today. Cause as far as Power Rangers go, like I've seen Mighty Morphin, of course. Zeo, Turbo, I don't remember, but I know I watched it. And then a little bit of Space. And I don't remember if there was another one that I had actually sat down and watched. Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin was like always the thing because after school it was always on as a kid. And I've gone back and actually tried to rewatch some of it again as an adult. It's hard. It's very hard.
Hey, if you guys are enjoying this and want us to go back and talk about the old episodes,
yeah,
check out our Patreon and we'll do something special for you.
Oh, you cut out a little bit, dude.
Oh, I was saying check out our Patreon and maybe we'll throw something special together.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoy it.
Definitely. I would love to do like a whole Power Rangers, like go through and do breakdowns or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And we can definitely try and do some stuff like that on Patreon or something like that for you guys. We do have our Patreon set up. It's www.patreon.com/operationbabble.
Do we have to do the WW anymore?
Why not? www. What's wrong with W? You don't like W? I see.
It reminds me of I think it might have been an old Mad TV skit. W. That's 3 W's. It's like some ad for Bush, one of his campaign, parodies.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Bush beer for a second. I was like,
no, George Bush.
George W. Bush.
Oh man, I miss Mad TV.
Mad TV was awesome. I enjoyed Mad TV better than SNL. Sorry, guys.
I did too.
Trying to think, is there any other shows like Power Rangers that I enjoy? Do you have anything?
I got other stuff if you want to talk about it, but I don't. Let's see. Similar shows to Power Rangers. What we got here? Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad with an S.
Ooh, that sounds cool. I would totally watch that, and I don't even see it. Apparently, Stargirl is a sci-fi show like Power Rangers, it says. Wow. Punisher. The Punisher from Netflix. Google, you are wrong.
Okay, this just looks like it's an American adaptation of Ultraman or Gridman, depending on which version you're looking at.
What's it called?
The Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad with an S.
Superhuman Sam. Oh, it actually popped right up. Samurai Cyber Squad. Images. Is it a cartoon? It is Ultraman, isn't it? That is Ultraman.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
What the hell? Oh wait, it's a kid that goes into the suit. Sam Servo. If people out there know what this show is and if it's worth watching, because I mean, it has toys apparently.
How did I miss this? It was on ABC.
Really? That's how I missed it. I didn't watch ABC growing up.
94 to 95, so around the same time as those tattoo.
There we go. IMDb biatch. It's got 4 stars.
I might have to watch this.
Oh, 7.1 stars actually on IMDb. Typical teenager Sam Collins, played by Matthew Lawrence, and his friends secretly fight virus monsters by transporting them into the computer. So
you might like this. The series development mirrored the creative construct established earlier with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So I feel this is an animation / live action. Right?
I gotta go to YouTube. See some footage.
Tim Curry is in this? What?
What?
For 53 episodes too. He's on the show. What the fuck?
Okay, hang on. I gotta look for his.
No wonder this show has 7.1 stars. Tim motherfucking Curry's in it. Again, people, this is called Super Samurai Cyber Squad. It was 94 to 95. Yeah, 1 season. How many episodes? Let's see. It was... Oh, it won't show me. It was... Shit, guys. My computer's dying on me.
Yeah, apparently he voices a military AI program.
52 episodes.
Oh, he's the main villain.
Tim Curry is?
Yeah.
Awesome. Kilo Khan. I love that fucking name, dude. John would hate this, but I love that name. John Wesley is Principal Pratchett. Okay. So, wait. The main character is played by Matthew Lawrence. So I don't see him. Oh, wait. Here it is. Yeah, I knew it. Matthew Lawrence. He's Jack from Boy Meets World.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at him right now. I'm watching a little clip. It is. It looks like it's live action, but there is some 90 CG for bits.
Wait, 94, 95 CG would be kind of like Reboot, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Okay, this is a recommend because I love Tim Curry, and if he's the bad guy, why the fuck not? Diana Bellamy. Ooh, John Wesley is okay. Yeah, okay. I know these people. I suck at names, by the way, for everybody out there. Okay, so Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad with an S. It's cyber with an S instead of a C. So it's for the 4 S's. Superhero Samurai Cyber Squad. And this was on Jar? It says Jar on the poster. This says 22 episodes, but it says there's 58 episodes on IMDb. So I'm not sure.
Wikipedia has 53.
Okay. So
Does
maybe
anyone know?
So maybe somebody's fucking with us. Maybe this isn't a real show. I'm gonna go with 53 episodes. We'll say 53. Where can we find this show at, Tivis? Because I am looking for it. Is it streaming anywhere? Superhero Samurai Cyber Squad.
2 DVDs.
It's on Amazon. Volume 1, 28 episodes. Holy fuck! It says $600.
Okay, so this is an in-demand. As of February 2016, the series could be streamed through Pluto on the After School Cartoons channel.
Ooh. You hear that, people? You can watch Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad on Pluto. As of when?
2016, so hopefully it's still there.
So it's on 2016. Okay. That's pretty dope, though. I would not pay $600 for this. Let me see if I can find it somewhere else. Amazon Volume 2, which would be the second part. Volume 2 is only $12. What the fuck, people? Are you serious?
3 episodes shorter.
Are you serious? This is horse shit. Horse shit.
We could watch the last half of the show.
Right? Motherfuckers. All right, if anybody out there in the Operation Babble community can find me the Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad Volume 1 for less than, $20, send it my way. Send me a link in the description or on my Twitter
or
Instagram or Facebook at Myke Shrews, or at our email is operationbabble@outlook.com. And I think we're done shilling now.
Yeah.
You can also find Tivis on Twitter at Tivis014, is it, right?
Yep.
Check him out if you like this. If you guys really like this episode, let us know so we can do more Power Ranger talk. Of course we're gonna make fun of shit, but we love this stuff too. We don't hate it. I don't hate any stupid little thing that they do. I roll my eyes, but that doesn't mean I hate it. Let me see here. Oh, damn. Oh, wait. Best Buy has it? No.
Oof. You're hearing Myke in the buying process.
Here. Oh, holy fucking hell. Guys, Superhero Samurai Cyber Squad Volume 1 on eBay. You ready for this price? $2,899.99.
I was gonna guess 2,000.
New other offer, $495. Make an offer. $3,489.95. Fuck you.
Jesus.
What is up? Okay, and this was only of 2013. The set came out in 2013, it says.
Mm-hmm.
So, holy shit. Be careful of where you're buying stuff from, people. Definitely be careful. Ooh, Reliable Media Store. What's on that? How much is that? $35. That's a lot more. That's a lot more. And this is the complete series. $35 for both sets. That I can do. I don't know what this is. Oh, and it says unreleased and out of print TV shows. Okay, no, so they're out of print. So either this is a ripped DVD or it's like those ones that they copy from their TVs. Which, don't get me wrong, I have plenty of those too, because some shows they just never released on DVD. It sucks. Ooh, it is on fucking BestBuy.com.
I don't know what anyone would do that for. That's crazy talk.
What series was that?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh. Superhero Samurai Cyber Squad Volume 1 at Best Buy. No longer available in new condition. Damn.
Well, we discovered a gold, a hidden gem here.
Now I really want to watch this because I can't watch this.
Isn't that the way?
Ooh, Family Video selling it for $8.
Oh, there you go.
What? Wait. Is this real? Is this legit? Let's see. I don't see a button to buy it. It doesn't let me buy it. Oh, you fuckers. Well, I guess Family Video would be the one to look for too, because they're closing all their stores down. Rest in peace, Family Video.
Yeah. Go. You might be able to find a lot of hidden gems there that are not easily accessible anymore.
Yeah. Well, I hope everybody appreciated this episode of Operation Babble. Oh, I'm not even talking in the mic. I hope you guys appreciated this episode of
Okay,
Operation
I don't even know
Babble.
where my mic is. It's somewhere in that.
We can hear you just fine, Tivis. We got you. With that said, just remember, Tivis. Well, actually, no, Tivis, do you have something last to say? Do you have a final closer? Since we don't have two closers today.
Let's see if
Cookies
I
are
can find
for
one.
closers.
Well, I looked up RPM quote and I got a stock market. It's going down.
Awesome.
I don't know who owns RPM. Fucking hell. Let me try
Anything?
Siri's quote.
Anything. Oh, now he's stealing my idea with the quote. That's what I get it.
It's not spandex, people.
What is that from?
RPM!
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Dude, what does she call it? No, real quick. Pull that back up. What does she call it?
Does she call it?
What does she call it? This will be the last thing we let you guys know about RPM. Power Rangers RPM. Get in gear.
I gotta pull up the wiki again. Let's see. Arsenal.
All right. So this is what Dr. K calls her fabric that's not spandex. Do we got this? Tivis? Come on, these people don't want to hear us all day talking about Sentai and Power Rangers, and actually they do. Everybody does. We're lovely. Thank you. Got it?
Yeah, it just says she goes into a rage.
It doesn't say what she calls it?
No! What the fuck are these things made out of?
Oh, no.
Yeah, suits material. I'm probably just gonna get spandex. More armor-like. Okay.
Oh, wait. Here, I'm a play the audio. Oh, no, wait. That's just her saying that is not spandex. That is not spandex. That is not spandex. Hey. Nope, that's not it. Okay. I don't know. What are the Power Rangers? I should have written. I should have written that down when we were suits.
Oh, it is a self-absorbing nanofiber formed with intercellular shape memory alloy.
Awesome. Say that again.
Nanofiber formed with an intercellular shape memory alloy. Self-absorbing. I forgot that word. I screwed it up.
I'll say it again.
Oh, God. Okay, last time. Self-absorbing nanofiber formed with an intercellular shape memory alloy.
Okay. And with that said, people, Power Rangers RPM, get in gear. Power Rangers RPM, we stand together. Thank you and have a good day. Peace. You just finished another great episode of Operation Babble. You can catch every episode of Operation Babble on all your audio streaming services, including SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, and more. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Operation Babble, and join the conversation today by searching for the Operation Babble group on Facebook. Links also in the description. Thanks and have a great day.